Everybody. Thanks for joining us. I see we have about 15 out of the 46 or so that signed up for this. So I'm sure we'll have a bunch of people roll in as we go forward. You are in NOVA Scribes meetup. In this particular one, we are going to find the warmth in the dumpster fire. We're going to reflect on 2020. We're going to reframe 2021. It was about a 2-hour session, packed, chock full of things. And we're going to walk you through a bunch of twists and turns and different kinds of exercises and resources. There's even going to be some small breakout room conversation as well. And a little fire, which I know Brian's excited about, as you can see. First, we like to start off with, first and foremost, if you can raise and hold your hand if this is your first time in a NOVA Scribes. Angela's a little premature on the hand raising. I saw you there. First time meetup attendees. Show me your hands. Thank you, Steve. I see you. Thank you, Clint. I see you too. Okay, Brandy's rolling in. So we got a couple. So we'd like to start off with what's NOVA Scribes. It's a free meetup, open forum of visual practitioners, and take that any which way you like. Anything visual is what we're interested in. Actually, anything and anyone that uses visuals to move others. Could be consultants, facilitators, graphic recorders, graphic facilitators as well, sketchnoters, artists of any kind. And if you don't tick any of those boxes, that's okay too. We're all visual in some way. And so we're here to share and learn, cross-pollinate, and really just hang out together in some sort of a visual way. We are a group of volunteers. For those of you that have been either former organizers of the meetup or current, you can wave your hands if you'd like. I know Lauren's one of them. And thank you. And so our current active organizers are Rachel, Brian, and Marcelin, who's not with us this evening right now. We like to leverage proceeds in a lot of different ways that don't go into our own pockets. So we're either paying for the bills for meetup, or we're funding scholarships for things like IFVP events. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to drop that in the chat and you can look it up on your own. International Forum of Visual Practitioners. Fabulous resource of good visual stuff. And such as tonight, we like to fund I'm missing the words.
Charity?
City arts, yeah.
We like to fund charity, and this evening, that's why I'm on the wrong page, we are funding City Arts. So thank you if you chose to donate your $5 admission tag to City Arts. Do you know something about City Arts, Brian, you want to share?
A little bit about City Arts. So yeah, but I have to go and look it up. So I know that they're in about 65 different cities, and it is about using art to reach out mostly to inner city youths. That's the shorthand for it. They've been around for a while. And so there's, a bit of an overlap between the visual side of what we do and the artistic side of what they do. They're pretty great. So check them out.
Yeah, and especially important in this 9 crazy plus months that we've had where everything's upside down. So all sorts of extra help is really appreciated. Let me go back to my prior tab just to make sure I'm covering all the bases. Yeah, I think that covers it. By the way, if you've got a topic that you think you might want to pilot, we're open to it. We're open to hosting it as a meetup. Reach out to any one of us. You should know how by now. And with that, anything that I left out? Oh, I know there's upcoming events coming up, right? For example, there is a lunching event. Hey, Rachel, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so I've been following my energy and just doing virtual lunches. So there's a virtual lunch on Friday, the 18th at noon Eastern. Very casual, show up, chat, bring your lunch. We kind of talk about projects, do random intros, just have a conversation, and they've been a lot of fun. So join us. It's free.
I was going to
Just
say,
cool
there is
time
such
to
a thing as a free lunch, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, food not provided. So
Cool.
conversation is free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's what we got coming up.
That's what we got. We got more stuff in the hamper. We just haven't quite published it yet. So stay tuned for those. Interestingly enough, this community has blown up over the COVID pandemic scenario. And we're like pushing beyond 800 plus members worldwide. We've had, I don't know, who thinks is the farthest person of them all this evening. We've had people from New Zealand join us.
I think it's Tim.
Tim, where are you calling in from?
It takes a while. Hang on.
In Singapore.
Oh, there you are, Tim. Hey, good to see you.
Morning. Hey, Brian. Hey, Matteo.
Hey, guys. It's really nice to see you, Tim.
Morning.
Thank you.
All right.
Cheers.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and let's get this show on the road. So this is the only time we're going to show a PowerPoint. And this is your last call to get your materials. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and do them now. You will need paper. 11 by 17 is preferable if you have that size. If not, that is A-OK. You'll need some small pens or markers. So we like the Neuland Fine Ones. Although if you don't have these, Sharpies, colored Sharpies would be perfectly okay, or any markers that you've got. Scissors, X-Acto knives, your favorite cutting instrument, either tape or glue, your favorite adhesive. You will need matches or a lighter. Yes, we're going to be burning things. And then something to burn it in. I'm choosing to use an iron skillet on top of a trivet. And again, I would love it if somebody could actually give me the proper pronunciation of that word I just used. The little wire rack you put hot things on. And then safety first. A big glass of water that you can extinguish this with should you need to. And again, don't forget about your donation to cityaughts.org. We're doing that rather than collecting. We are doing that on the honor system. So please reach out to them. Okay. Fireplace will work perfectly well. Thank you, Linda. Now, let's see how fast I can get through this next part. Here we go. I understand and agree that participation in tonight's NOVA Scribes event carries with it the risk to be a personal or bodily injury, including death and or loss or damage to property, and I willingly and knowingly accept that risk. I also understand and agree that NOVA Scribes does not and will not guarantee my safety during my participation in tonight's program. With this understanding, I individually and on behalf of my heirs, successors, assigns, and personal representatives hereby release, relieve, indemnify, and forever discharge NOVA Scribes' employees, agents, officers, trustees, and representatives in their official and individual capacities from any liability whatsoever for any personal or bodily injury, including death and loss of or damage to property that I may sustain, including but not limited to any claims, demands, actions, causes of action, judgments, damages, expenses, and costs, including attorney fees which arise from, result from, or occur during, or are connected in any manner with my participation in tonight's program. Irrespective of whether or not they are sponsored, supervised, or controlled by NOVA Scribes, my participation in tonight's program constitutes my agreement and my consent with the above disclaimer. In other words, if I burn my house down, it's my own damn fault. Okay? So as long as we can agree to that, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'll turn it back over to Matteo to teach us how to fold a zine.
Thank you for that. I thought we were going to try and do a group thumbs up on that one. I was ready to take a picture, by the way. Yes, so the zine, has anyone here folded a zine for themselves out of a sheet of paper before? Excellent. We've got some zinepreneurs. I'm going to walk us through the steps. There are only a couple. Rachel already has her zine. Nice work, Rachel. She was working on that earlier today. So step one, grab a sheet of paper. It doesn't matter what size, but the larger, probably the better, because we're going to fold it about 8 different ways. Step one, or maybe it's step 2 now, is fold it in half by the long way. By the long way, right? So that's the first. Yes, you're doing very well. I appreciate all using your cameras to show me your progress. Step 2, everyone's got an extra large piece of paper, is fold it again a second time by what's now the long way. Yep, you're doing great. You're doing wonderfully. You're also good at this stuff. Step 4, I think we're up to, is fold it by the newest long way one more time. That's the last time we're going to do that. So what we've now just done is folded a sheet of paper into what should look like 8ths. And let's test that out. We're going to unfold by 1 and unfold by 1 more. So we're down to that first fold that you did, right? If you were to like release it entirely, you should have 8 rectangles just to test yourself, okay? Okay, so now that we've done that, we're gonna rip this or cut this. A very precise opening that Rachel is demonstrating in her screen right now. So take it back to that first fold, because in the middle of the not open part of that first fold is where you're gonna make that incision, just down to the halfway point. I'm actually gonna show you by drawing out the incision point. So you're gonna cut or rip, I don't mind ripping it by hand, just halfway down that first fold mark. Okay, once you've done that, very good. Yes, showing me the precise incision or imprecise. It's okay to get messy. So now what I want you to do is grab this piece of paper in a way that, Rachel, am I missing a step here? I'm having a little bit of a brain melt moment.
I like to do it where it looks like this,
Okay.
where it's the long way.
Yes.
And then if you go, like, just push it in, and so you make a little diamond in the middle like that, and then push it together. So it kind of looks like this.
Mhm.
And then you want to crease it and flatten it like that, and then flatten it like this.
Right.
So it will look like it's a little booklet. I'm
seeing some successes in our screens here. Yes, well done, Steve and Nancy and Barb and Lauren doing the happy dance.
Yeah.
Jennifer, how you doing? You doing okay? Clint, how you doing?
Yeah,
let's
so
run
I'll
through that again.
Yeah, struggle.
All right.
Okay, no worries.
Go back to, this is probably the hardest part. So you start like this, you have the little thing in the middle. And then I like to you push it together. And then it's easier if you make the creases a little bit neat. So you have these four, and then you just kind of fold it, flatten it, and make it better, and then fold it like this.
Yeah. So you're leveraging the, let's call it the instability that we created by cutting that portion of the paper to then forgive the bend and basically create, it's kind of like a never-ending rotating, what do you call those? Circular doors, revolving doors of a design. I keep mine messy, but yeah, that's 8 pages. Thank you, Rachel. You saved me on that one. I get an F for instruction abilities on that one. I'm rusty on the zine. Cool. All right. And if you're frustrated by it, great. Invent your own way of making a booklet. How about that? Well, let's channel our Brandy Agerbeck. Practice makes progress. It's never perfect, right? And I'm seeing in the chat here. Yeah, that's a good question, Lauren. So don't worry. Yeah, go ahead.
We're not burning this thing.
Right.
We're burning something else.
Cool. And I owe you a link that can actually show you how to do this. So let me grab that. This is a freebie that I've done through work over at the Clearing. We've used this with some clients. It's a 3-page PDF, and the first page describes the steps. It's really simple. The last page is actually a printout. If you want to just print it, it's got those dotted lines on it so you know where to cut. The middle is something we're going to get to later. It's with the portion that Rachel's going to walk us through on her own, but it's some ideas on using a zine like this to journal about gratitude and all those good things. So I've taken up enough of our agenda time here, and I'm going to pass it to our next person.
That is me. So actually what we're going to do on a separate piece of paper, or you could do it on this piece of paper if you want. But just take a minute, maybe on a Post-it note or a small piece of paper, to write yourself a permission slip. And so literally right, I give myself permission, and then give yourself permission to be messy, to burn things, to not fold papers correctly, because there is no right way. Spend like a 30 seconds, because it will all work out in the end, is what I mean. And Brian's modeling is a nice permission note.
Such a handsome font, Brian.
You can thank Heather Martinez for that.
That architect?
Yeah, that's right.
Very nice.
And this is a nice little exercise that you can, like, if you're trying to transition people into something, I like to do it too. I sometimes think, like, I just need to give myself permission to, like, feel the feels, or be, whatever it is I'm being right this moment. And writing it down is kind of a nice extra validation. So next we're actually going to go to the next section. So Brian, you want to lead us into?
Yeah, ready to go. All right, so this is the part. This is the part that I've been waiting for. But okay, you can set the permission slip aside. You can set your magazine, your zine. You can set that aside. You're going to start with a blank piece of paper. Okay. Now, while you're getting ready, and you're going to need your markers for this, we're going to do a little drawing. While you're getting ready, let me just give credit where credit is due. First of all, half of this comes from Diane Bleck and her modality that she came up with around fire painting. And then the other half actually comes from art therapy, like, no kidding, art therapy. The first half of what we're going to do, if you ever have had an art therapist, this is an activity that they do. So the first thing that I'd like you to do is, on this piece of paper, and take up the entirety of it, draw something ugly. Now, what I mean by that is, I'm not saying draw a trash can or draw Shrek or draw a slug. That is not what I mean. I mean, you make marks on paper that are ugly to you. Now, I'm about to commit a cardinal sin, but there's one Neuland marker that I don't like, okay? And that is the 801. I cannot get my head around the 801. To me, it looks like baby poop. Every time I look at this, I hate it. And so when I say draw something ugly, you can use different colors, you can do different shapes that you want, but draw something abstract that, like, breaks all of the rules, of what might be aesthetically pleasing to you. So I'm going to use, like, my 801, and then I'm going to go back over it with my second least favorite color, which is the 701, and I'm just going to break all the rules. I'm going to use lines that are, next to each other, and just all over the place. So draw something ugly. Okay, go ahead and do that now, and really mess this paper up. The messier it is, and the more that you hate it, the better. I never really liked this mint green 403. I don't like you, 403. You are not my favorite marker. Lauren's modeling. That looks great, Lauren. I mean, that looks terrible, Lauren. See if I can spotlight hers for just a second. There you go.
Just so much anger and emotion in this okay.
And while you're doing this, mentally be thinking about, what are some of the things that you want to let go of? You don't have to write this down, but be thinking about what happened in 2020. What didn't work for you? What were some things that were some challenges? And what were some things that you would like to let go of? So spend a little bit of time just doing some silent reflection and use your scribbles almost as a meditation. What do these colors represent? What do these shapes represent? What is this chaos and insanity? What does it represent? What happened to you in this last year? Okay. Spend just about another minute on this, and then we'll come to a close. Okay. So as you're coming to a close, the next thing that I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look at this, look somewhere around this, and I'd like you to find a 2 by 2 inch square somewhere on this. Tim, inches are things that are slightly larger than centimeters, just to let you know. So somewhere on this, like what is your favorite 2 by 2 inch square? Okay. Some section of this you like. So focus on that. And for me, I kind of like how this yellow and blue came together. I didn't expect it was going to work out that way, but it did. And then once you've got the square mentally in mind, I want you to go ahead and cut it out. Like literally snip it out of the larger paper. Okay. So just to recap, find a 2 by 2 inch square that you like and cut it out. Snip it out of that page. And then once you've got that 2 by 2 inch square, go ahead and use your tape or your glue and stick it to the front cover of your 8-page zine. Okay? Just go ahead and stick it to the front cover. By the way, let me just say this. If you are wondering where I'm going with this, quit that. Just be in the moment. These are complicated instructions for a reason. And part of letting go is not trying to see 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. Just be in this moment, recognize where you are, and be a part of it. So be present with this. And the only reason I say that is because when I did this with my art therapist, she said, you got to stop seeing where I'm going with this. Just be in the moment. It's just my nature. So I'm just sharing that because that was one of my big learnings. So you're going to hang on to this. Okay. Now we're going to set this aside for just a second. And let's go back to the rest of this page of this messiness, this ugliness. And this is where you're going to get your iron skillet out. Now I'm going to move my webcam a little bit away because I don't want it to catch it on fire. And this is where we're going to burn this. So I'd like you to take the rest of your picture. Okay, go ahead and crumple it up. And we're going to let this go. Rachel, I love the sound effects. It's amazing. Make sure you got your water handy just in case. And so with this, these are all of the missed expectations, the missed opportunities, the plans. The most useless thing that I bought this year was a 2020 calendar. Might not have to crumple it so much. I didn't even crack into my calendar this year, and usually I live by those. You might need to turn off your smoke detector. I forgot to mention that. If you haven't done that already. And we're going to say goodbye. Because this year is over. It brought a lot with it. And we're going to let it go. Nancy's fanning the smoke. If your smoke detector goes off, you win. Linda's got a look on her face like there is no way I'm bringing this activity to a group. Okay.
We used to host a New Year's Eve party, and we always ended up outside by the chimenea and always collected little things that we wanted to get rid of and then burned them in the fire.
Amazing.
Yep.
Okay, let's find our way back. And thank you for the sound effects, Rachel. I think we can move off of those. Thank you. So we're going to go back to your zine. Okay. So you should have your 2 by 2 inch square of something that you liked. Now, what I'd like you to do is to look at this and turn it into something that you like. So add to it. Now make this a beautiful thing. You can go back to the same colors if you want, but you're going to add to this and turn it into something that you actually enjoy. Lauren says she needs more time. Yep, if you need a little bit more time, that's fine. Brandy had a smoke alarm issue. Okay, and you can title it if you want to, but you make this your cover. So as we look forward into 2021, we're letting go of the things that we want to let go of, and we're also finding the things that brought us joy, there were some things that we got out of this year that maybe we can look back to and say, you know, what's something that I learned? What did I learn about myself? What did I learn about my family? What did I learn about our resilience in the face of trial? And since I've gotten through this, what does this mean that I can get through in the future? Facing some adversity, what does that mean for me and my resilience going forward? Okay. And with that, I will turn it over to Rachel.
I'm going to share mine. I didn't quite follow the directions, but because I already had started mine, so I did it differently, but that's cool too. So what we're going to do actually is go, if you have the cover and if you just open it, there should be a double spread. Mine has drawings on it because I already did this. I did this activity first. But we have a blank like double page. And we're going to do, there's 2 options here. You can do, oh, Lauren is still burning. Yeah, be sure and watch anything that's still burning. You can put it out. That's what the water's for. Don't use wine. But this is a separate document. So you can open up go back to your design. And then we're going to do a bit of either you can do a mind map or a timeline just to reflect on 2020. So I did a timeline. So I start over here and I did the months. And then like up here, the top are the things that were like more positive and the things at the bottom were, you know, maybe more negative. And I just I went through my calendar and I just looked and see like what happened. What did I learn? What projects did I have going on? What feelings did I have going on? Accomplishments, insights. And I did a little bit of just kind of drew that out. You can also just do a mind map and just put maybe 2020 in the middle and then just do the different like clusters of that. But we're going to spend maybe 4 or 5 minutes doing a bit of reflection on what happened in 2020 for you in your life. Now I'm going to play some music because I like music quietly. All right. So I think we're going to move on. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to go into pairs. So you have a chance to share as much as you're comfortable with definitely don't share more than that. But just maybe, because it's nice, you can maybe add a little bit more and get some depth just as you're sharing that and with each other. And again, this is just kind of what happened in 2020 for you. What are maybe some of the highlights? What are some of the things that you're proud of or things like that? So I'm going to open up some breakouts and we're going to have, I set this for, okay. Then I'm going to, thank you for letting me know. I'm going to move you. Okay. We're going to have about 10 minutes for this to give you some time to chat, to maybe add some things if you want, just really say hi and kind of go a little bit deep and spend some time with your partner. Sound good? Any questions? Awesome. Well, I think everyone's back. How was that?
I liked it. I'm not a visual, I don't draw, but I'm trying to learn. And
You draw great.
I've never done it before.
I didn't get a chance to tell you, but your drawing was wonderful.
I was trying not to do so many words. I'm like, I did it.
Awesome. So we're going to actually keep going and we're going to go to, so we have this spread and then we're actually going to go to the next spread and do a little bit of journaling. So what I've done is there's 3 different sections of prompts. So if you can see, I put a little, I don't know if you can tell, but that's a heart that has a Band-Aid on it in the middle. And then I have a section here which says gratitude, wins, and celebrations. Section here that says challenges and struggles. And then the bottom section here says capacity and kindness. So just, if you want to, in this spread, just make 3 sections. It doesn't have to be like this. And I'm going to drop the categories, like actual prompts. I have some questions. So we're going to go like category, like time here, time here, time here. So I'll drop the questions in the chat. But the first one is gratitude, wins, and celebrations. And so we're going to spend just about 1 song. That's the time thing we're going to do. The song is they're about 3 minutes. So just spend maybe 3 minutes thinking about like, what are you grateful for? What felt good and went well? And how has your life changed for the better in the past year? All right. So you can go ahead and finish up and maybe drop one. That's just the first category. And maybe just drop 1 celebration in the chat. Something that you're celebrating in this past year. Connecting to wonderful facilitator communities, first leadership development training program or coaching program, family and friends staying healthy. Oh, someone got married. Oh, that's awesome. Nice neighbors, a new house. Oh, a new house. That's awesome too. Oh, happy birthday. Happy early birthday. Okay, and then so we're going to move to the next section. So this is the second section of 3. And this one is challenges and struggles. And so I'm going to drop some of the questions in the chat there. So maybe what was challenging? And also like in this part, think about like, what have you outgrown? Like what is complete? Like think about it in that way. Like maybe it's productive struggle where you are outgrowing something. And what are you taking with you? Like, what are you learning? Like, you know, the challenges, but also this is where learning and growth happens. So we're going to spend 1 song writing this down. So the last section is capacity and kindness. And this is really thinking about how might you be kind, generous, and forgiving with yourself And these are prompts, you can take whichever one lands. Maybe what boundaries did you need? What have you learned about your own resilience or about the resiliences of your family? And how did you take care of yourself? So we're going to spend a couple of minutes just reflecting on that. All right. So I know that you might need more time, but we also want to keep things moving. And so to end this kind of journaling section with maybe one word or one, phrase for how did this year feel overall? So maybe take a couple seconds to think about that. And if you'd like to share, you can drop it in the chat or unmute and share verbally. How did this year feel overall? Intense? Transformational? Groundhog Day? Yeah. Groundhog Day is a good one. Simplifying, overwhelming, letting go. Oh, it's great. Treading water. Like, I agree. Healing in some ways. Yeah, I think it's opening, and opening and growth is not always comfortable. Barely bearable, invigorating, inevitable, discovering, life choice affirming, restorative, and reflective. Yeah, awesome. What now? Every day. It's like Groundhog Day plus intense transformation all at the same time. Rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland. That's nice. Awesome. So this completes this section of our little design. So we're going to turn the page and turn it over to Mr. Matteo.
While Mateo's getting started, I have a quick request. Can everybody do me a favor and on the count of 3, look at the camera and hold up your book, and I'm going to snap a photo, well, screenshot really, of this for our meetup group. All right, ready? So count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Wait, I want to see your face in there, Linda. That's just the picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Matteo, over to you.
That was so much fun. We could just do that all night. I'd be happy. Thanks, Brian. Seize the moment. So I'd like to, by the way, Rachel, nice work. That was really enjoyable. I would like to do a quick check-in with you. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Linda. To see where you are right now. We have about 45 minutes left. My math is not good in public. And we're going to do that in just a quick visual explorer exercise. And if anyone's not done Visual Explorer, you're in for a treat. We're borrowing from, what is it, CCL, Creative Leadership Institute?
Center for Creative Leadership. Close enough.
There you go. I just relabeled them. Sorry,
yeah, you're on.
And now we have options to do this on our own, right? Creativity. So the trigger question that I'm going to put forward to you is, what image represents you right now and why? And I'm going to share a series of images that I have in a temporary mural. So I don't have powers. Host and co-host, could you please grant me?
Yes, I can grant you powers.
Okay, thank you. The
You have powers now.
It's intoxicating. Hang on a second.
You have been knighted.
I have to stop your sound, all sorts of things going on here. So hopefully you can see my screen okay. And this is a very quickly put together mural of some high-res images. You'll notice there are numbers in the corners of each of these images. So again, the trigger question is, which image speaks to you if you can find one? I'm going to give you no pressure, because we're just coming off of that very relaxing music. If you can find one, make a note of that number. And then prepare through, we're going to just popcorn out for those of you that are willing to share verbally or in chat, which image you chose and why. Through the power of technology, I might even take a few simple captures and quick post-it notes right on this mural so we can send it, we can share it out with one another afterwards. And so, who here needs a little more time to find their image? Wave frantically in your camera if you do. Okay, I see you, Brandy, no problem. And if you need me to zoom in, just tell me. Cool. It's tough with screen estate, managing all that, making it legible enough, putting enough options in there. Okay, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. What I'll do is I'll stay in the screen share, but if y'all don't know about side-by-side view in Zoom, you can also wave your hand. That's a way to show more faces or more screen share, depending on your preference. You can do so by clicking on the green toolbar that Zoom offers you. Go into the 3 dots. So where it says Matteo is sharing his screen, that's the green toolbar that I'm talking about. Click on the 3 dots to the right. And then there's an option for side-by-side view. That gives you a little splitter of your screen where you can choose to regulate how much you want to see of what I'm sharing screen-wise or how much faces you'd like to see instead. All right, it's time to just popcorn out. So whoever has energy to share their image number, hop off of mute and tell us your story. What image did you choose and why?
This is Lauren. It took me a while to find it, but 14.
Okay, say more.
Well, from what I can see, it's like looks like a baby being born, or it just there's something about this year and birthing new ideas, and that process can be painful and exciting at the same time.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Who else would like to offer their image? Hop off of mute.
I can go next.
Thank you, Laura. Come on in.
I picked 25. I know that it's geese, but I interpreted that as getting my ducks in a row with a job change and a bit of a lifestyle change. That's kind of where I'm at right now, getting my ducks in a row for next year.
Good for you, Laura. Thanks for sharing and good luck.
I can go.
Please do.
I was drawn to image number 34, the 2 fishermen, and it was just a really gut being pulled towards it. But then I was also thinking of the imagery from the musical Into the Woods, where one of the characters keeps complaining about you can't serve soup with a slotted spoon. And then towards the end of the show, she says, but the slotted spoon can catch the potato. And I'm just sort of, we need to catch the potatoes from 2020, 2020, whatever that we are. There is some good that has happened. A lot of good, actually. We just are not seeing it quite yet.
Thank you, Barb. Beautiful. Anybody else?
Yeah.
I'll share.
Come on in, Tim.
I love all the images. I resonated, I think, most with number 35, because the theme seems to be a theme of this year is just jumping out into the unknown. So perhaps that's the theme, letting go of our feet, our stability, and jumping into the abyss, the unknown, and trusting that you will grow the wings on the way down, so to speak.
Love it. Thank you, Tim.
If I may,
Of course.
I am drawn to image 19, although I am not a runner. It's really the right half of image 19, because I feel like my whole thing this year has been trying to run my best possible race. But it's my race.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate you sharing.
I'll go.
Come on in, Steve.
So I'll take the left half of image 19. Because I feel like I've been running all year, but it's been over hurdles, and it's been nothing but hurdles, but I'm still in the race. So haven't got out of the race yet.
Thank you for jumping in, Steve, and sharing that.
I can go if there's somebody else.
Come on in, Randy. How's the fire, by the way? All good?
Oh man, there was so much smoke that I was not expecting. I had to like open the window and just say, please don't go off. Like so the smoke alarm didn't go off, but I'm terrified to open my door.
We're glad you're okay.
After getting a second moment, the image that most resonated with me was number 9, which is a little bit of a story to it. I don't know, 6 to 8 years ago, I was visiting my in-laws who were posted to Germany. And my husband really wanted to climb the tallest mountain in Germany, the Zugspitze. And there's this parking lot that you can get to on one side, and there's a couple of different places where you can park. And we had someone that had been up it before as a guide, but there was a miscommunication and kind of a language barrier. And long story short, we parked in the wrong parking lot. So what was supposed to be like a very long, but still more skillful area ended up being this very, very long walk for many hours before getting to the interesting, skillful climbing part of the journey. And I was by far the smallest, least athletic person there. There was a little bit of a gender bias towards me from the other culture, being like, why is there a chick here? Like, this is not her place. Long story short, we made it up the mountain, but like, this is almost the epitome of what I saw when we got to level 1 of the mountain. Like, I've literally been at this for half a day already, and I'm not at the top yet, and I can't go back down. I've got to go. I've got to keep going up. So I feel very much like that's where we are right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brandy, for sharing that.
I'll go if I can.
Of course, Clint. Come on in. Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I looked at them all, and I picked number 32, not in the sense of if those are LGBTQ colors, but just in the sense that this past year was so strange, you know, from all the things we had put up with, and me personally with relationship changes, both romantic and within my family and in work, and just you know, the increases in the numbers of cases and deaths, and I just feel like I've been splattered on by, you know, a whole bunch of paint or something by the entire past year. So ready to put it in the dumpster, set it on fire, and push it off my balcony, and you know, move on to next year. And so anyway, so that's that. And speaking of family, I have to go to, I play chess now on 7 p.m. on Thursdays with my son who's away at college at UMass Amherst. So I've got to leave for that. But it's been a very enjoyable first time. Very informative. It's a good group and very valuable service and meetup group that you're having, and I'll look forward to catching up with you again next time. So take care and have a good Christmas and New Year's. So
Thanks, Clint. We look forward to seeing you next time, and good luck at the game of chess with your son.
yeah, I hope I win. Appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye. Need help. Luck.
That's fantastic. Love all the shares. I'm going to give it a last call for now, just because we have a little bit more. Carla, I saw your hand first.
Okay, thank you. I went from several different pictures, but I've landed on number 6. And I landed there because this year I had good relationships with my daughters. My daughters are 25 and 26, so they're nowhere near the age of the little girl here in the picture. But just the emotion and the love that I felt even from them as adults, it just took me back at times to remembering when they were younger. So, and to see my daughter get married. So that's the picture just reminded me of my role as a mother this year.
Thank you, Carla. I gotta say, I've had a knot in my throat this entire session, almost 2 hours now. Appreciate all y'all for sharing all that you have. I think I saw one more hand. Was that you, Linda? That you come on in, please.
Yeah, I'll pick number 23. I mean, several of the other ones resonated, but 23 was because it's a time right now. I've finished my last client, and so it's all a time of reflection, thinking about what I want to do. You know, part of the year has been sort of healing from difficult work and difficult personal time, and so just kind of looking at all of it and thinking about where I want to jump in and where I want to not jump in for next year.
Thank you, Linda. Fantastic. I'm going to give it one more call in case anyone. Hermika, is your hand up? I can't tell. It's been up for a while. Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't have the full Brady Bunch view on my screen.
That's okay. So I struggled. There's number 9, but also number 5, as I was looking at this in a minute ago. And number 5, really building this whole muscle of resilience this year, putting some things to the test that I would have never imagined through loss and also some celebrations, and how all of that is going to be unleashing my new superpower for 2021. I'm going to be
What's the superpower? Do it again.
I said I'm going to be unleashing my new superpower for 2021.
And then you made a sound. What was it? Do it.
I'm not the Incredible Hulk, but I got to do something. Wait, let me switch my glasses.
Yeah, girl, get it.
I'm showing out.
Love you, Hermika.
I love you too, Lauren.
Appreciate that, Hermika. Thank you so much. I love the
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as I hate to pause this activity and move on to the next, the show must go on. So anyway, hopefully that's something that you might use to for your own purposes. I'm going to pause for just a quick second so I can see your faces. And the knot in my throat's getting even bigger for some reason. I'm just doing a little Johari window self-disclosure there. All right, and so that we use that kind of as a reset, a check-in, and also an opportunity to pivot. We've talked a lot about 2020, and so I will leave the explicatives behind, and let's just move forward. And one opportunity that we could use here, let's do this every year, let's do it every month, Lauren, I love it, is to pivot into, checking time here, our intentions going forward. So I'd like you to start thinking about what are your intentions moving forward. We've had some opportunities to practice some catharsis, to practice some just letting it go, some reflection, some recollection, some insights. Let's look forward, let's build on that. And I'd like you to think about what are your intentions going forward. I'm wondering here, there's probably a few of you that are in the practice of using mandalas. Is that a true statement? I know Brian probably is. Yeah. Oop, there's Lauren too. Good. And so we're going to leverage that visual. I'm going to call that a visual template. And Brian and Lauren, if you want to jump in and provide some sort of, wisdom on this, I welcome you to do that. I have something that's canned. It's only about 20 seconds, but jump in, Lauren. I see you unmuting.
I was just going to say, oh, Captain, my captain, and toss it to Brian.
Brian, how do you feel about that?
Why don't you kick it off, Matteo?
Okay, fine. I'll start. You can add some color, please. And so we're talking about intentions going forward using mandala art journaling. My pronunciation of mandala varies. Depends on how much you want to add. And so what is that? Combining words with images. Okay, so we would start by creating a mandala, and we'll get into what that looks like in a second if you don't know what that is. And it's creating a visual and adding words to complete a balance between right and left brain. So it is a mode of self-reflection and self-expression. This is a solo activity. DJ Thompson, i.e. Rachel, I'm going to cue you in a moment to play some of that funky music that you were playing earlier. But I wanted to open it up for Brian and or Lauren if they wanted to add some color to this activity. And I will drop some cues in the chat. Someone, and Brian, yep, you got it. Did you want to jump in? I don't know if you're fishing for the mute button or not.
I was fishing for the mute button, yeah.
I thought you might be.
So a mandala, and let me flip it around just so you can see it in case you haven't one. So I'm doing one, and it looks like Lauren's doing one too. Nice. Think of it as almost like a radial network diagram. Those of you that are familiar with the Grove templates, we're talking about like the vision mandala here. So what would be the central driving idea, the thing that really, is our center of focus, and then what radiates outward from it, almost like deriving, decomposing from that shape. What are the attributes, aspects, descriptors, adjectives that are part of that central core? Okay. Lauren, anything you want to add on this one?
Just if you want to make your mandala more gender inclusive, at least in one direction, you can call it a womandala.
Not a thing. Wow. That's amazing. I have not heard that before.
With other possibilities as well.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for that. So you got the cue questions. What are your intentions going forward 2021 and beyond? You got the gist of the shape and the energy and the generative nature of that. And you've got some potential 8 statements. I will value in 2021 and beyond. I will feel in 2021 and beyond. I will cultivate. One of my go-to Shavasana songs I haven't taught in a while, and full circle, here it is. I hope that was enough time to get you started on your mandala statements. And I know this is very personal stuff, so I'm going to open up a door, a brief door, if anyone wants to offer something that's come up for them, maybe something net new that arose for you in this exercise. Maybe you identified or honed in on a superpower of your own, or a sound, or both. And if you did and you'd like to share, come on in off of mute. Give a wave. Small window here. Good for you for those that face muted and really sunk into that exercise.
I'll share.
Come on in.
I will say out loud and shared. That's been a theme and an ongoing theme. So I will continue to share out loud.
Love it. Wonderful. Thank you for opening that up, Rachel.
Now I'm in. I was like, well, I can't see anybody because I'm on the browser. So I wasn't sure how this worked. This is my first time. So one of the biggest things I put on here is that I am powerful. I am light, worthy, and capable. And I will explore the scary stuff that doesn't make sense. I have a whole bunch of stuff, but I can stop there.
That's wonderful, Armika. I love it. I love how you're embracing this. Thank you for bringing that into the circle. And that's right, Lauren. It is a circle, even though it's all squares and boxes. We're in a grid form. I'm envisioning a circle of chairs in true OD fashion, organization development. Fantastic. Rachel's bringing her pup into the screen. Devin? Yeah, welcome, Devin. Nice. Good retention on my part. Fantastic. We'll keep working on those mandalas. That's for you to own and to benefit from. We were in that intention setting and moving forward mode, right? We're still there. We're going 2021 and beyond. And in our last few minutes, if you still have your zine, I call it a zine because I just can't remember to call it a zine. It's a spoof on, magazine, right? Yeah. There you go. If you've got some real estate left, some zine estate left there, great. Goal planning is what we're thinking about next. So I will preface it, God bless you, Armika, with you're welcome. So let's talk about the science of, is it the science of well-being, I think, from Yale University. Freshman course introduced a few years back. Okay, I see some nods. You know what I'm talking about. Laurie Santos, Professor Laurie Santos. It's a free course on Coursera, and I'm just going to give you one little piece of one of the tools that she brings into that course. Coursera offers it for free. Let's just say that when Yale put that together for the first time, it was, and it continues to be, the largest attended class in their history. And they couldn't even find a space big enough to house. This is back when we were in person. They had to do it in an auditorium on campus because they had like thousands of students attend. And they noticed, quick sidebar, that a student's happiness once they got accepted to Yale to when they were on the ground freshman year in Yale, their demeanor changed from, oh my God, I can't believe this, amazing, highest point in my life, to highly stressful moments, let's put it that way. And so they studied it, and it's a really valuable course. I actually went through it in a couple weeks over the winter last year, even though it's a 10-week course. And there's all sorts of self-assessments on your happiness set point, etc. And we're gonna grab and borrow from Lori and Yale on this goal setting concept. And I'm gonna share screen. Yep. We'll stop that share into a very quick and dirty mural board. And it's all about the WHOOP method. Anybody here heard of that before? Probably. Nope. Head shakes. Okay. So there's a book about this. There's a website, and the website is whoopmylife.org. Once you go there, pick your language of choice, and there's all sorts of great tools there. It's a really simple formula, even though there's a bunch of information here that is on this board. I'm going to actually put it into the chat because it fits in there. So this is a goal planning technique that proves to be very powerful. Oh, sorry for the formatting in chat. It's a bit ugly. But it's basically a 4-step process. And that is what the acronym WHOOP stands for. So WHOOP is W. Think about your wish, the most amazing, most powerful wish that you can come up with for yourself in the present moment, or in the near future, or in the distant future. So think about what is your wish. The O, the first O in WHOOP, is then think about the best possible outcomes that could result from achieving that wish or that goal. So you can see how we're already visualizing, hence the visual component. And I'm going through it rather fast, but don't worry, you can do this on your own time in more depth. It's a wonderful self-reflection kind of exercise. Step 3, which is the second O in WHOOP, this is where the if-then planning pops up. So with that wish or those wishes and those amazing outcomes that can result, what might be some of those obstacles that you might run into as you attempt to achieve these wishes? So that's the if. Back in the day when I used to go to a physical gym across the street, I might get caught up with work. I might not have my gym clothes with me. Like, what are those excuses, those things that might get in the way of you achieving that? So that's the if. And if those things were to occur, here comes the P. What's your plan? If, then plan. And so I might pack a gym bag in a non-COVID environment, set that, I don't know, in the passenger seat of my car so that when I go to work tomorrow, I have no excuses. My gym stuff is with me, and I'll just roll right to the gym after work. This is a method that's been proven with science, and I'll give you the Stadler research project on the right. There was the WHOOP method was used in this research project. There was a control group of middle-aged women and a WHOOP group of middle-aged women, and the goal was to try and increase physical activity. And the control group pretty much remained the same. The WHOOP group basically doubled their level of physical activity, not just in the immediate here and now when they first started, but even 10 weeks later. They basically doubled the amount of physical activity that they were able to achieve and maintain over time. And so there's science behind that. There is goal specificity that we are leveraging. There is this activity of mental contrasting. So we're visualizing kind of like downhill skiers in the Olympics as they are learning the course, the tricks, the turns, the inclination, and the dangers. Formula One drivers do it too. All sorts of racing drivers do. Visualizing the path forward and what happens if I run into this. Thinking of obstacles and thinking about how to overcome those obstacles. And then there's this implementation intention that's baked into this. So as you're thinking through these scenarios of possibility and overcoming these possible obstacles, you're actually ingraining in your own brain, in your own person, a greater chance of achieving the wishes that you're trying to get to in the first place. Any reactions, comments, questions? So with that, I appreciate Gabrielle Oettingen. That's how I pronounce that. And I bid you the best pursuit of your ultimate dreams and wishes in this amazing, what's going to be this amazing 2021, right? The pieces are already stacking up in our favor. Whoop, whoop, that's right. Whoop my life. 7:26, I'm going to pause. Whoever wants to jump in at this point, come on in. Where are my wonderful co-hosts?
I am right here.
There you are.
I am right here. So yeah, we have a couple minutes left. And Brian, I don't know if you know, he went to see some Christmas lights with his family. So he's there. But yeah, no, thanks everybody for joining. yeah, we have upcoming events. There's my dog in the background. And we hope that you really enjoyed this. Again, if you haven't donated to City Arts, you can find the link in the chat. You can find the link on the Meetup site, Meetup page. We have the virtual lunch on the 18th, and then we're going to be doing another, like a bunch of stuff next year once we figure that out. And if you have any things you'd like to pilot, reach out to either Matteo or I or Brian. And otherwise, maybe we'll just do one last, I like to do around the robin, maybe a little like one word or one wish maybe that you have.
Nice.
So would anybody like to start and share? Or one thing you're excited about for this week, maybe, to scope it a little bit softer.
Barb's jumping in.
I just am really excited that there were a lot of good things that happened this year that we're not really seeing. And I hope that we hold on to those good things because the world is different.
Yeah, thank you. Who would like to share next?
I'll share.
So Hermika and then Tim.
Okay.
So to add to what you were saying, Barb, I agree. Even though I did have experienced some loss this year, some of the best things are right in front of us, and just paying attention to that. And so there's so much more to come if we kind of look up and have some hope, optimistically hopeful. That's my word. It's two, but optimistically hopeful.
Nice, thank you, Tim.
Thank you. The thought for me was keep things in perspective, and embrace the sense of how we grow. We can grow through joy, but our biggest growth comes through the challenges we are facing. And I mean, energy, there's light, we're attracted to the light, but there's just as much dark. And dark is often seen as bad, but it's because it's unknown, it's uncomfortable. And there's certainly been plenty of dark, but that's also where we are all growing. So in the perspective is, doing things like this and having more intentional conversations about what's going on, what's really struggling, personally and, community and team, but what's really wanting to be born, someone chose that as their card. What's wanting to be born today? So keep the perspective on possibilities.
Right. Yeah, no, thank you. Angela?
My virtual background is dawn in my backyard. And this was earlier this week. And I really like being up early in the morning to watch the sun come up because there's such promise there.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I think Angela, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I would say for this year, especially in the first half of the year when we were all getting used to this and isolated inside, there was a lot of internal reflection. And with that and kind of the second half of the year where we were all kind of used to being on Zoom, I think what it's really allowed for is a lot of internal and external exploration where the things that we valued before, some of it didn't seem as valuable, and kind of like the small things became more valuable, and kind of hope to continue to hold and figure out what to explore next in 2021.
Yeah, no, thank you. Who would like to go next? One thing that you're excited about, Nancy?
So 2020, there was a lot of forced learning where you absolutely had to learn things in order to be able to survive and thrive, so to speak. And so what I'm hopeful about is that having learned that it is very possible to learn and do things in very different ways, to kind of cultivate that learning going forward, be more positive and optimistic about it, to look for opportunities to learn instead of having them forced on us.
No, thank you. Yeah. If anybody else would like to share, you're welcome to, but it is 7:30 and you want to we're done. So thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you and really appreciate everyone who's shown up this year and shown up in whatever way you can.